So here's a kind of a recent find here. I pulled out the 8000 because I thought that I had one of those inch and a quarter adapters in the box with it. Turns out I don't. It's like what I used when I tested the 8000 was one of these 35 millimeter to inch and a quarter adapters wrapped with just a little bit of electrical tape to ensure a snug fit. So that's what I did. I am genuinely surprised I don't have an adapter for it, but whatever. The Guardian here was kind of a later iteration of the same design. This was the second one to use the style airbag, we'll put it that way, because the Renaissance was the first. They were plagued with electrical problems, so they kind of simplified things with the 8000. But the 8000 didn't have a HEPA filter on it, and it had a system where it would, unless the hose was inserted into here, there's a flap in here which diverts the airflow to the tool chamber here. So then there's just an electrostatic filter piece that goes under this. And the Guardian uses like the same molds, same bags, but the filter system is different. It also uses a different motor, but we'll get to that in a bit. So, as you can see, it doesn't have that same spring-loaded piece in here because the airflow does not redirect. It's like even if you were to cover this, it would just try to force its way out, but it's not like super well sealed around here, so it could still find its way out if need be. But yeah, it's an aftermarket filter because genuine ones are pretty expensive, and I'm not shelling out that kind of money. The only bad thing is, it's really more meant to match this older color. I think they called this oyster or something. I don't really remember. So yeah, it's like they had these HEPA filters that sat on top of here, and I've heard other collectors refer to these as a tumor. They just don't like the way they kind of jut out on top of it. And yeah, I can see that. It kind of really ruins the streamlined look of them. Which is why in the Guardian Ultra, the model that came afterwards, they integrated the filter with something a little bit more flat. Although that was more of a return to form for like it almost reminds me of the 2100 style. So more sleek, and it didn't have onboard tool storage. But yeah, it's like this one has a e-vacuum store type R bag in it, because until fairly recently, maybe like 5-6 years, it's like they haven't had like HEPA cloth bags for them. I think Aerus actually has them OEM now, or at least they do for Type C. But anyways, motor in here is known as the VM3. So, I'm working on an Electrolux Guardian, and I just wanted to show this motor while I'm in here, because this motor is called the VM3. And the VM3, I've never really liked the VM3. And a big part of it was it's non-serviceable. You can't take this washer off, so you don't really have good access, to the fan or really anything in here. So, I mean, once this motor starts going, whether it's bearings or whatever, you can't... Oh, would you look at that? It's a Demel. Well, that makes it really surprising. Usually, things from Demel and Amtech are rebuildable, but this one isn't. Huh. Yeah. Anyways, as we can see, this does have a lot of fins in it. So these were known to have a pretty good suction to them, but I don't think their airflow is particularly impressive. We'll have to find that out once I actually do the testing on here. Fortunately, it doesn't look like there's a huge amount of dust caked in these fans either, because I'm not so sure I would want to take this fan case off of here either. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to definitely go ahead and finish cleaning this machine up. I've had the VM3 in multiple machines, like the TriStar MG2 and the Electrolux Legacy upright I had also had a VM3 in it. I do not like the VM3. It's non-serviceable. I don't know what it is with the VM3, but for whatever reason, they always seem to have some rust on them. I'm guessing, it's just a poor mixture of metals or something that makes it prone to rust. But, anyways, I think we should get on with this. And I believe I'll compare the numbers towards the end of the video to the ones of the 8000, which still had the dual stage motor in it. And before I forget, here's our model tag. 8.2 amps without nozzle, 10 amps with it. We'll see how it stacks up against what it actually does. Okay, and we're going to go through the different speeds. I'm only going to run the power nozzle on high, though, just to see how that compares. So let's start it off on low speed. Just the suction motor. Medium. And high. We'll turn the power nozzle on. So I guess I didn't use any electrical tape, because when I use the electrical tape, it doesn't go far enough back into the wand, and it actually leaks through the electrical port. So without it, it seems to be fully sealed. So we'll test all three of the airflows in a row, followed by the suctions in a row, because it's just going to be easier to do it that way. Let's start again on low. On to medium. On to high. We'll do the 3 suction measurements. We'll reset this to low. Okay, medium and high. There we go, just to... Okay. Medium. And high. Once again, low, medium, and high. Alright, and after a prolonged search for this piece, which was under the scrub brush I was using, we are back and ready to test the head. And medium. And high. Suction low. Suction medium. And finally high. Lots of leakage through the vents on this. Power nozzle on, low, and we came loose. Seems to be all we're getting. Medium. You know, I couldn't help but notice that it was getting kind of a dusty smell as I was using this thing. It's like I've cleaned it out. The only thing I didn't clean was the motor due to it being non-serviceable. I didn't think the fan blades looked that bad. And I mean, this filter is new. You know, the bag is new, so that's strange to me. But yeah, I'm not too terribly impressed by the Guardians with the VM3 motors. I'd much rather have that much more pleasant sounding two-stage that was found in the 8000, and I see that they're now replacing the VM3s with a Johnson electric motor. And if it's anything like what's in the TriStar CS, it would be an improvement, at least airflow-wise. But yeah, it's like, you know, I wanted one of these things for many, many years, and then I got my hands on a 9000, which is pretty much the same machine, but it was supposed to come with a special brush roll that was green and a little bit stiffer called the HPO brush. I don't exactly know what that means. It's like high power something. But, yeah. And I have one of those, the HPOs. I just don't use it on anything currently. And unfortunately, my 9000 didn't come with the HPO brush roll, so it's like, I don't know. It's like I got to try out the 9000, but it just seemed like it was kind of lagging behind a lot of my other vacuums, and it kind of has an unpleasant loud noise to it. So yeah, I mean, definitely not my favorite of the Lux machines, I'll say that much about it.